without him in the team. And his
joining us
leadership
again.
is not that great.
We are back live with you for the preview of the West Indies against England in the fourth T20 International in St. Lucia at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground. The question is, can West Indies finally beat England in a few hours' time? And a few hours' time is just an hour and 20 minutes from now. The 4th T20 will start, weather permitting, there in St. Lucia. And we do hope that the weather hold up. I have with me, as you can see on your camera, Honorary Secretary of the Cricket Hall of Fame, Mr. Dale Brown. I also have with us as well is Cricket Hall of Famer John Melbourne, also Cricket Hall of Famer Dennis Eat, to give their thoughts on these three games that gone on so far and what is expected to topple England in this important 4th T20 International to make sure that the West Indies is not whitewashed in these series. It would be the very first time in history West Indies would have suffered a 5-match defeat from any opposition at all in world cricket in the T20 game. How important, Mr. Brown, is it for Rodman Powell that has performed notable, the only batter in this West Indies team that have performed in a very admirable way in these 3 games so far. He is the top scorer for the West Indies and also third in the series overall itself as it regards to the accumulation of runs. How important is him leading the West Indies to victory this evening?
It is very important. I think that West Indies on a whole were very unlucky and let down by very poor fielding, and they could have snatched the last game. They could have won it. The bottom line is that they didn't do it because of some very, especially one by Pooran. And unfortunately, it goes down as a loss for the team, and it kind of reflects on the captain. But he has stepped up big time in this series, and as a batter, he's the outstanding person on the team. And of course, Hussain has bowled very well throughout the 3 games. But for his own sake, I really expect the team to bounce back today and to win this match and finish the series with two victories, because he has done everything to deserve that, and he has led from the front, and he has also led on the field. One question mark with him in using Hines to bowl that last over. But aside from that, I think he led the team very well and deserved to have more to show for it.
Absolutely. Hall of Famer John Melbourne, Darren Sammy came on as coach, came on with a lot of hype, as we would know he always has. The team, the T20 team, has been a steady and an unbeaten team here at home for a few years now. But is the hype, the shine, and the expectation, the moral, the comfortness of these players? Are West Indies team too comfortable, taking it for granted that they will beat England in this series, and England coming with blood in their eyes, losing series after series since the last World Cup, and they with a strong belief now that we have to turn it around, and so did the West Indies this time around, took England for granted. And could it be because of that why England are 3-0 up in this series?
You know, I don't think West Indies have taken in England for granted, you know. But I am disappointed that our top order batsmen have not come to the fore. And I am trying to figure out what might be the problem that the top order has not really produced when I think they have the goods to really do well and produce for this West Indies team. Is it an internal issue that's going on that we're not aware of between maybe captain and the squad, or the manager and the squad? Why these guys are not playing up to their ability? I don't know what the reason is, but I do believe this is a good West Indies white ball squad, as far as I can see. And I'm not sure. And I was kind of surprised that Brandon King didn't play in that is it that third game that he was left off the squad. And that again, I'm not sure why he was left out. But you know, those who are there present selecting the team, they look at, I guess they look at the wicket, look at the combinations that they think can win a match, but it's not working. So you know, the question is there an issue with in the camp that we're not aware of?
Yeah. Thank you for your thoughts, Hall of Famer John Melbourne. Mr. Heath, as you can see on your screen now, and the viewers can see as well, the returning Obey McCoy. One of the thought when the news came out that he would be in, they alluded to him being injured earlier when they met to pick the T20 team, but now he has recovered and gotten this chance. Do you think he should play this evening? And who should he replace if he were to come into this team? We heard the legend and very knowledgeable commentator in Ian Bishop calling for a left arm pacer, and he and the Jamaican Sheldon Cottrell have been, vying for this position, but obviously he has moved ahead and gotten into this team now. Should the West Indies play him this evening, and how much of a difference do you expect him to make?
Thank you and welcome back. Without a doubt, Junior, we should expect that Obed McCoy should be a member of this team. And we have two positions that he can fill. And that would be the position currently held by Shamar Springer and Terence Hines. In my estimate, I am still trying to understand why Hines and Springer are actually in the team rather than just in the squad. Hines in the CPL as a all-rounder, supposedly, he scored 27 runs in 8 matches and he had 2 notouts, which gives him an average of 27. That to me for a T20 match is not a selection material. As far as wickets, 8 matches, 8 innings, he's picked up 8 wickets for an average of 30. You know, economy 9.5. I don't see why he should be in that team ahead of McCoy. When it comes to Springer, the same thing applies. 9 matches, 8 innings, 40 runs scored, average 13.3. So, you know, he's not a batter. Wickets, he's taken 12 wickets in 9 matches, average 18, economy 9.3. Why is he in the squad ahead of McCoy or even Sheldon Cottrell with the experience? Or for that matter, Jaden Seals may have had a bad match, but on terms of experience and quality and what he has to offer, Jaden Seals should be playing ahead of Hines and or Springer. I don't understand Shamar Joseph just breaking through, but based on what he's capable of, he's miles ahead of.
But they did say that Joseph went back to prepare for the test series, which they are camping now in Antigua. So that explains his absence.
Mr. Codlin, they had dropped Shamar Joseph previously. He's just taking this opportunity to make, as I said earlier, the national team must get priorities. And unless you're managing a player's performance in terms of how often he plays, like Budakesh Moti was out of the side today, and I think that's because he deserves a break. Unless you're doing that with Shamar Joseph, there's absolutely no doubt where Springer or Hines should be playing ahead of Shamar Joseph in these matches because of experience on what they have to offer. And I know we're trying to build a team, but both these two players, Hines and Springer, they are not ready yet. They have to show more in terms of their performance. And in my opinion, welcome back McCoy. Cottrell should be given a chance. So should other players who we know have been left out of the team or the squad for whatever reason. And I would rest my case at that point. But definitely, I think that we need to look seriously at the criterion that is used to select players for this West Indies T20 squad and the white ball squad at this time. There's just something not quite gelling, in my humble opinion. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Hall of Famer John Melbourne, when we looked at the team, is it my concern for you in this batting order, maybe where he should bat, when he should come in, but a man that has played straight up and down the yard and excel wherever he puts the bat? Is he now a concern in this West Indies team? That's one. And Shamar Springer, who had showed promise, would you play McCoy ahead of him in this evening's game?
Yes, I would play Obed McCoy ahead of Springer, just based on the fact that he's a more experienced cricketer, so to speak. However, at the same time, I am also disappointed with the output of Obed McCoy so far. I think he should be not only more economical, but be able to pick up wickets more regularly at this point in his career. I know injuries have played a role in his development, if you want to call it that. But I think it's time that really that Obed McCoy really puts up his hand and say, yes, I deserve to be in this West Indies squad. So, but yes, I would have Obed McCoy and give him another chance to play. But he has the ability. He just has not produced as you'd want him to at this point. But yes, I would give him another shot in this test match, and for the fact that does it? I mean, this T20, it doesn't really count. We have already lost the series, So the pressure is, I guess, is off certain players, and I think you're going to see some of our frontline batting now getting some runs. You see, pressure is something that not everyone can deal with at the highest level, And I don't know if the pressure, I mean, you look at the third match, and between Evan, Lewis, Shea, Hope, Nicholas, Poor, and Ross, and Chase, and Hedmeyer, how much runs they scored? 20 runs between the five of them? I mean, you can't win like that. It's certainly. Yeah. But you asked me about the youngster coming in. Yes, I would have Obed McCoy in. Playing ahead of, well, joining the bowling corps, especially with Shamar Joseph out of the squad now. I think Obed should get another shot.
Absolutely. Honor Secretary Mr. Brown, one for you. When we look at the team and the balance of it now, King getting a rest, Shea Hope was asked to open the batting, didn't work out in the last game. Would you go back in this game this evening in an under hour time, opening the batting with Shea Hope again and Lewis? And would you bring in back Rutherford to strengthen the batting? And would you play Obey McCoy? And also, while you are at it, you run down this T20 squad for our viewers.
Yes, Mr. Codlin, your very last point, you said, could I run down, and I missed you at that point.
Yeah, the squad for our viewers.
Okay, so the squad, first of all, is Powell, captain, Roston Chase, Hetmeyer, Terence Hines, Shea Hope, Hussein, Alzari Joseph, Brandon King, Evan Lewis, Obed McCoy, Gudakesh Moti, Nicholas Puran, Rutherford, Shepherd, and Shamar Springer. Your question about King, if according to the media release, he didn't play in the last match because of a side strain. If in fact he does have a side strain, it would depend on whether or not he's 100% for him to return to the team. Alzari Joseph came in and replaced Shamar Joseph, so that was a like for like right there. But Andre Russell also was injured, and he is no longer in the squad, and Springer replaces him. What was very surprising to me is our hot batsman, not so hot in this series, Rutherford. I do not understand why he lost his place to Hetmeyer, when Hetmeyer has not played many T20 games, and when he plays, he doesn't produce. And I am, if you many dollars I have in my pocket. I can't tell you I have 100 when I only have 5. And what Hitma is telling you is that he has 100 runs in his bat, but he only gives you 3 or 5. And I don't understand why they are insisting with him outside of persons getting injured. He should be in the squad and should play in case of an injury, but not to drop someone like a Rutherford and play him in place of that person. And thinking a little bit out of the box, if King is not available, maybe one of these batsmen, you throw them into and let them open, because he comes in and he's just firing his bat away in the middle of the order, and we're sick and tired of being 34 for 5 and 37 for 5, and you're putting pressure on the middle order batsmen to clean up the mess that the top order batsmen need. And Hedma is not one to hold back.
Yeah. Looking back at the third T20, you would have to agree that it's the drop catch of Nicholas Pooran, the few drop catches, and also of Sherman Meyer that would have cost us that game, when the brilliant partnership between Captain Rodman Powell and middle order batter Romario Shepherd brought us back into the game. You would have to agree that England won the game with just 5 balls left. So had West Indies taken those catches, we would have had a series still on the card at this time. What now can the West Indies do, Hall of Famer E, to remedy this situation? We still want to make sure that we maintain a certain rankings going into the next World Cup. And so no game anymore in any forms of in any form of limited overs cricket is a game of pride. It's important for us to win all games now to make sure we are at a certain place at a certain deadline in the rankings. So important does West Indies have to look at this game now and to make sure they come out victorious in under our time?
That for me?
Yeah.
Very, very important. Look, we have to give credit to England. England came here with a message, and loud and clear they have delivered that message. West Indies for a long time seem to think that we West Indies are always going to be batting second. And reality is they have to now start to think and put themselves in a position where they have to be able to go out there and bat first. No team now, based on this performance, will ever win the toss and not put the West Indies into bat regardless of whichever series they're in, because they have detected and they have demonstrated West Indies' lack of ability to perform when they bat first. England has moved up from 6th position when the series started, with West Indies on position number 3 or 4, to now overtake West Indies and is now sitting 3 in the series ranking, and West Indies has dropped down to 4. So it shows that England is playing this kind of cricket that requires them to achieve the position they're in. West Indies, on the other hand, has shown that they are floundering. However, give credit where credit is due in terms of, yes, England has done well in bat and ball, but West Indies should recognize, all right, it's a team sport, and when your early order batters fail, it is good to see that the lower order step up to the plate and give back. And that is something that I admire in the team. So batting second should not be taken for granted, and improvement required something in their match approach. Now, West Indies have an opportunity today, and we expect, win or lose the toss, that their batters will come up to the game ready to perform. Their bowlers will also be expected to perform. And of course, I'm counting on the selector to ensure that we have the right team going in there. We have no longer have the position where we can this series at this point. They have to make way for more experienced player. Thank you, Mr. Cudley.
Yeah, thank you as well, Hall of Famer Dennis Eat. Hall of Famer Melbourne, how concerned are you with the pitches that are now being prepared here in the region? If you don't bat, if you don't win the toss, you don't win the game.
Well, Julia, there's always been a talk about the pitches that are being prepared now in the Caribbean, and that has been this ongoing discussion now for the last several years. And both teams are playing on the same pitch. Let us start there. The question is, why haven't our batsmen been able to adapt and play on the pitches like the batsmen in the opposing teams? Why have our bowlers been unable to adapt and use the pitch like the bowlers of the opposing team? Is it mental? Is it a lack of mental capacity to evaluate and assess situations? I mean, in the last match, why have our 5 top batsmen gone for 23 runs? You mean none of them were able to say, well, let me try to bat out a few overs before start going after the runs or trying to get runs quickly? I think you have to, our cricketers have to learn to adapt and adjust to game day conditions early. And we don't seem to be doing that. And that is where I think we have a letdown or a breakdown with our West Indies cricketers at the moment. And that's my take on it, Junior.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hall of Famer John Melbourne. We have in our comments here, Hall of Famer Dennis Heath, Sports Beat, said my 11, Shea Hope, Evan Lewis, Nicholas Pooran, Sheffin Rutherford, Rodman Powell, Sherman Etmire, Romario Shepherd, Goody Kishmuti, Azari Joseph, Akil Hussain, Obey Mackay rounds off my 11. Do you agree with that 11?
It would help me if I were able to see fully, but the one disappointment there is I would rather play Sherfin Rutherford ahead of Shimron Etmire in the squad. And the other change I would make...
He did have... Let's go over back. It's 11.
Yeah.
This is Sports Beat 11. Shea Hope, Evan Lewis, Nicholas Pooran, Sheffin Rutherford, Rodman Powell, Sherman Etmire, Romario Shepherd, Goody Kishmuti, Azari Joseph, Akil Hussain, Obey Mackay rounds off his 11.
Actually, yes, it does sound like the 11 that I've chosen based on that. So I don't know that I would disagree with that selection. It sounds like the 11, because my 11 would be Powell, Chase, I think Chase, Hope, Akil Hussain Alzari, Brandon King, Obed McCoy, Gudakesh Moti, Nicholas Pooran, Sherfane Rutherford and Romario Shepherd. And I believe that that sounds like we both are in agreement on that 11 for this game.
With the exclusion of King in his team. And based on the information we get from the Honorary Secretary, Mr. Dale Brown, that King might have been suffering from a bit of injury, and the important ODI and T20 series comes up shortly against Bangladesh, which we will need his services for. When we look at this team that is about to take on England in a few, just under our time, what is needed from your perspective, Mr. Brown, for West Indies to beat England this evening and wrapping it up tomorrow?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Codlin. First and foremost, learning my cricket, when you open the batting, if your partner gets dismissed early, you make sure that you don't get dismissed early along with him. A steady and good foundation must be laid for the incoming batsmen, the middle order, the big hitters, where they have a freedom to bat without undue pressure being placed on them, to bat with wickets in hand and a good amount of overs in hand. The top batters have to make sure that they give good starts. One thing I learned in cricket, in the first couple of overs, do not get run out. You cannot get run out unless you're running and pull a hamstring or slip on the turf or something like that. But you cannot and should not get run out within the first few overs of any game, or at any time. Getting run out is giving away a wicket. For me, is the worst, is the cardinal sin in cricket. And I have to speak about Shea Hope, because I believe that the incident with Alzarri Joseph was still on his mind, because no one can explain to me how he managed to get himself run out needlessly at the top of the order in the last game. So if these guys are not going to have the mental faculties to focus on the job at hand, know what it is you're not going to do as opposed to what you're going to do. But it's more important for you to know what you're not going to do. And I was very disappointed in Hope, and I sincerely believe that that incident is still on his mind. And that brings me back. Was it really a very good idea, without, depend on what they did behind closed doors, which I'm not privy to? If his head is not clear from what happened with Alzarri Joseph, he will not come out there and perform anywhere to his capabilities. And I know he has a great deal of potential and is a very good player, but his head is not in the game. Nicholas Pooran, same thing. Head is not in the game. It doesn't matter how much the IPL rates him or anybody rates him. You come and you're representing the West Indies. Every match counts. This is not a $2 million game. You cannot be swinging across the line with a full pitch delivery as if you're cutting cane on a wicket like that. You should not be doing that. You should not be thinking of doing that and batting at number 3 for your team and know how much they depend on you. So the headspace that these gentlemen are in, and how much at peace they are with themselves and their role in the team, is going to determine how they perform with the bat in hand. And I don't want to see Hope trying to take. He didn't even really put out a tremendous effort to get back in the crease. You know, if you notice, both of them walked down the pitch halfway and then turned around. There wasn't any commitment from them, both him and Lewis.
Yeah.
You know, and so we have to think, when Hetmeyer came in, based on what I listened to and heard, the coach sent out relayed a message telling them to bounce him. He's going to hook. Just bounce him. He's going to hook. Have a man stationed at deep mid wicket, and he's going to hook the ball to him because he just came in. And lo and behold, Shimron Hetmyer did exactly that. We see England again to give them their kudos with Evan Lewis. The bowler asked the captain to move a fielder. The captain said, please, one more ball. Just bowl one more ball to him like that, and let's see what happens. Because they had set a trap for him. And he bowled the one more ball, and Lewis did exactly what they thought he would have done, and he was out caught. So again, it shows you a communication issue. I'm sorry to go off a little bit, but a communication issue that was a non-issue. The bowler asked the captain to do something. The captain said, try it one more time and then you can have your way. And that's what happened. And that is what happened when the bowler and the captain are on the same page, in the same book, and have the same idea. And then I can say, brother, let us try a different tactic because I don't look like it's working. And he can say, just try two more balls, just try one more ball. And it should be a lesson to us of what communication between captain and bowler ought to be.
Absolutely. They must synchronize together. We still have Sports Beat with us here, and let's hear what he has to say. And Hall of Famer Melbourne will take this. We are started off on a wrong note by not including Shea Hope in the 11 in the first couple of matches. Shea Hope is a class player who can bat through and is generally much aware of game situation. And Mr. Brownie was saying while you were talking, there was a single there for the taking. His opening partner, Evan Lewis, sold him. And Azari is back and is in the 11. But Hall of Famer John Melbourne should Azari Joseph played in the rather should Sheo played in the first two games, and what did you make of him in the third game, running out as Mr. Brown described early on?
Well, thank you so much, Junior. And I mentioned before about um, our batsmen going out there and failing to assess situations, evaluate situations before they start swinging their bats. And yes, it's a T20 game, but I see no reason why we can't go out there and get a few dot balls and see what is happening with the pitch, with the bowling, before you start going after the bowling. I don't mind Shea Hope being in, and I believe Shea Hope should be in any of the white ball teams. He may be in the test team, but I guess he doesn't want to play test cricket now. But my problem was leaving out Brandon King. I think Brandon King should not have been left out, of this team, of this squad, batting lineup. And as one of our panelists mentioned about bringing in Hetmyer for Romario, not Romario, for Trophy and Rutherford, the selection process of the team might be where we're criticizing the players, but we're not looking at the selection process or those who are making the selections, for the players going on the field. Does Robman Powell, for instance, have a say-so as to who he wants on the field? Or he's being given the players to play, and he just has to take the field with what they give him. but backing up to the Shea Hope situation and being in the squad, no, Shea Hope should be in the squad. It's just that people like Evan Lewis and Hetmai and Shea Hope, have to evaluate situations and decide when to go after runs. Then and in this situation, I understand why Raston Chase came in at what he came at 4, because I suppose I wanted him to try to become the anchor now, the Dale, the Marlon Samuels. But it didn't work in this instance. And, the justice to me, selection is what we have to look at. And I don't know what they're going to do in this 4th match, but I think Brandon King should be in that team. He should be opening with whoever.
Yeah, and for Hall of Famer Dennis C, another comment here from Sports Beat. The fundamental issue is that we are losing too many wickets in the power play. What can Captain Powell, Coach Darren Sammy, and the rest of the management do in this 4th game going forward? Banganish will exploit us with this, as well as they would have done 2 years ago when they were here in the region and under the captaincy of Nicholas Puran. So West Indies need to start in this 4th game. What are the solutions to the problem in the power play for West Indies? Let's look also. Let's take another one from Sports Beat. We need to look at the high dot ball percentage that is plaguing in the West Indies. England face as a low dot ball percentage. This is a major difference between the teams. Hall of Famer Dennis.
I think the problem is the batting lineup. In my estimate, the batting lineup should consist of Hope and King, followed by Chase at number 3, Nicholas Pooran at number 4. I don't think batting Nicholas Pooran at number 3 is a good idea. He should be either at number 4 or number 5, with Powell, Rutherford, Shepherd, Hossain, Moti, Joseph, and McCoy. That has been the problem with Nicholas Pooran. He gets runs when he's batting a little bit lower in the order than when they're putting him at number 3. When he goes in at number 3, he automatically goes into overdrive and invariably, as Brother Dale pointed out earlier, gets himself out cross-batting a ball pitched on middle stump. So, batting is important in terms of your team lineup. And especially when you're batting first, that is when you need to solidify in between number 1 and number 4, and then number 5, 6, and 7 can take it over the top. The way the team is constructed right now, we're seeing the problems. England has a low dot ball ratio, or is that when you say low, meaning fewer dot balls? And I think that is in a sense due to the poor bowling performance of the West Indies, because the right bowlers have not been selected most of the time. And the plan of how the game plan is not rooted in the minds and the heads of our bowlers. And so they are easily distracted with those half volleys and that short pitch delivery, which you can see players of the qualities that England have can easily exploit, and they exploit them with such ferocity and with such absolute skill. So batting order lineup, game plan, game preparation, and selecting the right bowlers for the man. I mean, you select the right tools for the match. And West Indies is not always making the right selection. And I suspect it has something to do with who is making the selection, when he's making it, and why he's making it. And I'll leave it at that point.
Yeah, yeah. Poor run numbers indicate that he performs better at number 3 in international T20s, and that should be exactly the case based on our research. But West Indies need to do something different, and that's what we're saying here from the West Indies Cricket Development Academy this evening. It has to start in just in 40 minutes time. They need to get it right at the task, and even if they don't get it right at the task, they need to exact a defeat to England and build a momentum going into the series with Bangladesh. Hall of Famer John Melbourne, your final thoughts, followed by the Honorary Secretary, Mr. Brown.
Thank you again, Junior. And certainly, I'd like to see West Indies win a game, and this is an opportunity to win a game. This game 4 of the series. So unfortunate that we have already lost the series, but you want to win. If it's even to win the last 2 games, to give the players maybe some confidence. Our 4 or 5 top batting, whoever is in that 4 or 5 batting lineup spot, somebody up there has to stand up and produce some runs in order for the West Indies to do well. And it takes the pressure of the middle, lower order of the batting lineup. And, it really should not come down to the captain, Robman Powell, and Romario Shepherd, and even Gudakesh Moti, although he didn't get any runs in this last game, but he usually gets some runs down in the bottom of the order. But it's the top order is the problem. And as I've mentioned before, I think this batting lineup, this that we have, they are pretty good batsmen. Question is, are their heads in the game? Do they go out there and evaluate? Do they understand that maybe I can take 1s and 2s instead of trying to clear the fence or reach the fence? To rotate in the strike, that kind of thing. And then in the overs, maybe 14 to 20, that's where with wickets in hand, you can go after the bowling. But, early in the game, I would rather see us trying to consolidate slowly instead of putting a whole lot of runs on the board, or trying to put a whole lot of runs on the board and losing wickets. We just have to reevaluate, reassess how we need to approach the game and go about it, and try to execute as a plan. But we're just not executing now based on whatever plans they have. And it's really down to, you see, the problem is to, it's the captain who everybody will be pointing at that, they lost the game because of the captain. But the question then again, what about the players who have not put up their hands or who have not done the job to try to get West Indies over the line? And so it's really up to the players so to go out there and do a good job. Junior.
Yeah. Go ahead, Honorary Secretary, Mr. Brown.
Yes, thank you. Well, how our thoughts and beliefs shape our actions influences the outcomes of whatever it is we are trying to do. I don't see a consistent example being set that there's a clear thought process, there's a clear system that we, the West Indies, and of course it starts from our administrators, the coaches, managers, whomever, and it filters down to the players. If that is not in place, then what we're asking the players to do, they are not going to do it because it's not being advised to them. They're not being counseled in that manner. And your mind, any one of us, anything that we have to do, we will remember that our mothers, parents, grandmothers, whomever will tell us, son, you can do it if you put your mind to it. But you only can put your mind to what you plan to do and how you plan to do it and how you practice doing it. And I don't see that coming from the West Indian batsmen. When we win, we look very good because we are hitting the ball out of the park. What happens when the ball is not coming onto the bat? And now we have to get our singles and take our twos. And instead of trying to hit the ball over the boundary, how about let the ball run across the boundary? You know, three fours is as good as two sixes. And therefore, we must show adaptability, awareness of game situation, and know that if two quick wickets have fallen, I can't get out hooking and being caught at the mid wicket boundary. I have to get my team and bat out another 5 or 6 overs and score at 8 runs per over. You can score three singles, four 2 runs, whatever. You don't have to hit sixes. And to me, it don't make sense you play 5 dot balls and the sixth ball you hit it for six and you think that's a successful over. You could take 5, 6 singles and make the same amount of runs if that's what you aim to do. But it's the risk factor that you have to eliminate from your game as much as possible and then get the desired results. So I want to see them go out and show that they want to execute and show, don't just come out there and just be swinging for the fences. Adjust your batting. This is not a IPL league that you're playing in where entertainment is the key. And we are here to entertain the crowd, but we also need to win. So we have to find a balance. And I believe that most of our cricketers are there just to entertain because it's the T20 mindset and we have bought into it hook, line, and sinker, much to the detriment of our team and our performances.
Absolutely. Thank you for your thoughts there, Hall of Famer um, John Melbourne and Hall of Famer Dennis Heath and the Honorary Secretary, Mr. Dale Brown. Lovely thoughts from you all. We close out with a few comments from Sports Beat that said he would like to um, join the platform as a guest analyst sometime. We'll look into it and we'll be happy to have you on with us. And he closed out with these comments. The players need to be made aware of a plan A and plan B with regards to our batting in the power play. It seems to be just plan A, go hard, and we need an anchor in the top three. We also need to maximize the power play with the fielding restrictions. Thank you so much for your thoughts, Sports Beat, and to the rest of the viewers all over the world. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for allowing us into your homes. Remember to like the stream. Also, remember to subscribe to our channel and remember to keep it locked to West Indies Cricket Development Academy TV as we bring you continued coverage of West Indies cricket. West Indies will take on England in 28 minutes time to the first ball, rain permitting, and the West Indies will also take on England tomorrow once again in the fifth and final T20 international, um, weather permitting um, that as well. And we'll be back with you Tuesday to bring you the close of England Tour of West Indies 2024, and we'll also will be talking about the 2-day warm-up match with a good inclusion, the Jamaican youngster and future Jordan Johnson being included in that warm-up game and is slated to play against the visiting Bangladesh team. We'll be talking about that on Tuesday as well. So we hope you viewers will come back with us to close off England Tour of West Indies 2024 and also to look towards the Bangladesh Tour. Thank you, uh, Honorary Secretary Mr. Brown. Thank you all of FEMA, John Melbourne and Dennis Heath. From all of us here at West Indies Cricket Development Academy, thank you for joining us. We leave you with scenes of West Indies players celebrating, and we hope this celebration will be into tonight, going into tomorrow when we wrap up the series, building the wins, going in with the momentum taking on Bangladesh in a few weeks' time.